Alright, let's make some cocktails for International Beatles Week.
So this event occurs annually on the last week of August in their hometown of Liverpool, England, but I think this should be celebrated everywhere. So I'm going to make 4 cocktails today to honour each member of the band. One of these was actually invented by the Beatle himself, which is pretty great. One of them, it's very widely known that this was his favourite drink. One, I'm guessing a little bit what he may have had based on the time and place. And one of them is not much of a connection, but a really nice homage. All right then, let's go. So I'm going to start with Lennon, and we're going to do a Brandy Alexander. I've got a quote from him here. I got drunk and shouted. It was my first night on the Brandy Alexanders. I was with Harry Nilsson. He encouraged me. I usually have somewhere to say, okay, Lennon, shut up. We believe this was in the Troubadour Club in West Hollywood. Let's make the drink. Just a 3-ingredient cocktail, this one, starting off with 45ml or 1.5 ounces of brandy, 30ml or 1 ounce of Crème de Cacao. Okay, let's get some ice in here and stir this through. Now next we're going to be adding cream, and often this is just shaken through with the drink. I prefer to layer this on top for the presentation. Now that's nicely cold, I'm going to strain into a coupe or a Nick and Nora glass. Now this has to be whipped until it's the right density to layer on top. This is whipping cream in the UK or heavy cream in the US. I'm going to finish by grating with a little nutmeg. And cheers, Mr. Lennon, the Brandy Alexander. Next up, I'll do Ringo. Now, he quit drinking in 1982. Before then, his most legendary antics happened shortly after the Beatles broke up, when he was involved in a kind of gentleman's drinking club named the Hollywood Vampires. This also included Lennon, also included Harry Nilsson, Alice Cooper, as well as Keith Moon. I mean, God. And this was mostly held in a back room of the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset Boulevard. There's a photo out there of the guest list of this place. But what do we make for Ringo? Well, the only alcohol he was actually quoted of saying that he drank was brandy and whiskey. He was in America, so the whiskey would have been bourbon, and because he was in Los Angeles specifically, there was a cocktail created there in the 30s called the Brown Derby. I think he must have had at least one. Into a mixing tin, 30ml or 1 ounce of grapefruit juice, 15ml or 1/2 ounce of honey syrup, and 60ml or 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey. Ice and shake. And pour once again into a Nick and Nora style glass. I'm going to finish with some grapefruit peel, spritz those oils over the glass. Then I'm just going to rest the peel on top, and cheers Ringo, the Brown Derby. So for Harrison, I've got a slightly weird quote that says, I'd finished all that staying out drinking bit when everyone else came to it. Probably why I don't drink today. I'd had it all by the age of 10. So Harrison didn't have the same social life as the previous two. He seemed to mostly keep it low-key, living in his place in Henley-on-Thames. So let's find a cocktail that honours both his love of England and India. This is from a restaurant called Gymkhana in Mayfair, called the Quinine Sour. Let's make it. I'm going to start by adding 3 curry leaves, as well as a couple of slices of ginger. So really, in the same way we normally add chilies to drinks, this is really just a nice Indian way of adding some heat to the cocktail. 30ml or 1 ounce of lime juice, 15ml, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and to add that bit of Englishness, 60ml or 2 ounces of London dry gin. I'm going to give this a light press and put it in a mixing tin. And finally, I'm going to crack an egg white, and this is effectively going to be cooked when shaken with the lime. So let's get this chilled down to temperature. and the egg white foam will be at the top, so I'm just going to be extra careful to make sure I get it all at the end there. Just going to finish with the smallest leaf on top, and that's for you, George, the Quinine Sour. So McCartney seems to be someone that's just kept it together and drank in moderation his whole life, but there's no need for any digging anyway because he actually created this drink himself. There's the most wholesome video imaginable online of him making this cocktail with his daughter Mary. He doesn't really use any official measurements, he does like a bottle cap here, half a fruit there. So I'm just going to make this based on what makes sense. This is the Macca-Rita. So I'm going to go ahead and do a salt rim here. Finally going to use a different glass on cocktail 4. So 20 ml or 3/4 ounce of Cointreau. Also 20 ml 3/4 ounce of triple sec. Next up 30 ml of fresh lime juice. 60 ml or 2 ounces of orange juice. He uses the juice of 1 orange. He does like to dance when he shakes this. What can I say? I just can't do it. Gonna serve on the rocks, so let's throw some ice into this glass as well. A little bit more, and strain this over the top. Super nice colour, this one. Just gonna rest a lime wheel on the ice here, and here's the recipe for the Macca-Rita. I would encourage you to make at least one of these, or if not, at least listen to one of the old records. Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.